Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is October 31st. Today is Halloween. Get scary today, right? So make sure you be careful on the roads. I know a lot of different townships have early Halloween, for like trunk and treats, but you still get those diehard kids that will go around with their parents. Parents drop them off out front. They knock on your door and then they run, right? So what are we talking about today? We're talking about when is it the right time to grow your business? And is growth good or bad? I mean, it all depends upon. Be right back. Hey, good morning. If you didn't already know it, my name is Eric, and yes, this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Thursday, October 31st, 2024, and available on podcast. So, when is the right time for you to grow your business? Really, anytime. But you got to have reasons for growth. And is getting bigger always better? And I'll tell you the answer is no. You can make more money, but you got more bills. So when you're on a small scale, the things you need to concentrate on are how to handle money, how to balance the checkbook, how to balance the incoming, outcoming with your inventory coming in off the trucks. If you're going to go into debt with a preseason order or floor planning, you need to really make sure that you feel confident about being able to sell all that stuff. Because if not, guess what? You're stuck with it. And now you're behind the eight ball the next year. And I see this so often. I try to warn people to just slow down. If you're trying to be the biggest and baddest there is in town and be the most that sells the mostest and yada, 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 that's great. But if you don't have any physical restraints, financial restraints, and have somebody watching the numbers, hopefully it's you too, then things will get out of whack in a hurry. They will go south. And we talk about you're only as good as your last job. Reputation, you could grow a business and then get a reputation that you didn't want and have it sink your business. And I've seen that happen before too. So what are the reasons you'd want to grow your business? Well, for one, you'd like to get a little bit more income coming in. All right. So how big do you want to grow? Do you want to grow so you're a one-man band, or are you looking at employees? Because if you're looking at employees, some of the things you need to realize is that just wages alone are not the only thing you're going to have to come up with money for. There's a lot of other things: workman's comp, disability, family leave. The list goes on. So you want to get well versed on what it is what happens to the business when you add employees, and how much money do you have to put up front to do so. See, I tell you that time is money, and I really mean it. And that's what I found in my business time is if I can't afford to hire somebody to do it, then I got to find time to learn it. And the opposite holds true. If I don't want to find time to learn it, or I don't have the time, then you're going to pay somebody else to do it for you. And I do that specifically with payroll. And why do I do it with payroll? Because there's a lot of work to it. For somebody who's doing it every day, staying caught up on it, not so much for them, right? But for you as an individual to go out and become a certified public accountant like they are and figure out where you got to send all this money to whom and what and where and when can be daunting, right? So you need to have good reasons and for wanting to grow your business, and never grow a business based on money. And I know you're looking at me saying, well, how would you base your business growth? Base it on what you can handle, not what you can make. What you can handle. How much time do you have to devote to it? Now, what I've done is I've just allowed it to take place when I first started. You know, I didn't have employees. Didn't have to worry about it. And the employees that I had with the, technology business they were 1099ers, which meant they were contracted. I didn't have to cover everything. They had to be responsible for their taxes, everything. They are another business that is doing business with me. And that's the way I kept it. Because you never knew when they come and go, right? But when I got into the small engine repair and looking at helping with shipping and packing, sales, with uploads, I had to start looking at, because at the time there was 2 of us, but I had 3 overseas employees carrying the load as far as doing the uploads. I'd send them the thing, and then they would spend the time doing it. And a lot of times it was one by one by one. So to get somebody here locally to do it would have been astronomical, but they were affordable as employees. But they were also like 1099ers. They were overseas employees. I didn't have to cover anything on them. I did have to train them the way I wanted it done. That was the only thing, is that a lot of times your overseas employees will promise the world, but in the end, you need to teach them how you want it done. And that takes some time. And it also takes time to observe what they're doing and make sure that they're doing it correctly. Because if a listing gets uploaded to eBay or Amazon or the website and the price is wrong, you could lose your ass in a hurry on big ticket items, right? So you want to make sure everything like that was up to snuff. We hired on Krista as a secretary as our first employee. And that's when I started looking at, okay, I got to look at payroll. Because if she's going to be an employee, then we need to have all that stuff in place. And that's when I hired somebody to do it for me. And it was a good fit. There was just the 3 of us. And we were doing pretty well, in the shop. Krista was full-time, and then Claude and I was the owner, and I was doing a lot of the online stuff, and Krista was handling the local and shipping and packing. Well, she got to where she was getting overwhelmed with the shipping and packing and orders locally. So we ended up hiring somebody else to come in and start shipping and packing. Well, next thing you know, we've got 4 employees shipping and packing. And you get some good ones and you get some bad ones, right? But when you start to grow your business, you understand that I can't do this alone. So with that growth, have you taken into consideration what it's going to cost you to have an employee come in and help you, or employees? That would be the first thing. The other thing is are you looking to own, rent, or buy a location to have your small engine repair shop? Because that's a pretty good chunk of overhead, right? Depending on where you're at. And I've seen some corner lots that for small engine repair that the people have wanted over $1 million for. And if you're just starting out, $1 million is a lot of freaking money. I don't care who you are. But there's so many things to take into account. You got your finances, your employees, you got location. Now, one of the things that I got kind of forced into it, but with the Chinese coming on to eBay and Amazon, I decided to downsize. Getting up in years, I don't need a lot of headaches, and I don't need a lot of money to enjoy myself. Money has never been a big push for me. You know, I've always correlated money with it's useful and it has its purpose, but it's not the whereas end all to everybody's problems. It's not even close. Most times it's the furthest thing from the thing. The other thing is, how do you spend money? You know, you're going to have to do it on a budget, not by the seat of your pants. I'm sorry. You know, one of the things I hear the most out of young people is, I have to take on a second job because I need more money to live. And I ask them, do you need more money to live? Or is there a way to take a look at the budget and get some things that aren't needed off the budget, which will lower how much you need? See, a lot of times it's budgeting money versus needing more money. You don't realize how much waste you do with your actual money until you're forced to focus on it. And I've seen so many people, once you get them to look at the budget and start saying, well, do you really need this? Do you really need that? Because I've been a person that, even with my own kids and in my own life, you have wants and you have needs. Make a column on a sheet of paper and put down what your needs are. All right? You need a place to stay. You need a car. You need shelter. I mean, you start listing all the things you need. And then list the things that you want. And then start looking at your budget. How much money you're spending a month or a year on things that are classified as wants instead of needs. Could you save money by having perk coffee at home that you made yourself versus stopping at the cappuccino shop? Could you save money if you made your own lunch and took it in versus buying it from Direct Subs or Subway or the local sub shop? Yep. Do you have people that work with you that go your direction anyways? Can you carpool? There's a big money maker, saver right there. There are ways to save money if you're really set on trying to get yourself on a budget and stay within the budget. And when you come to business, it's even worse because you can, like I say, you can get in over your head in a hurry. And I hope some of you guys that have run businesses and are running businesses right now, chime in, please. I know there's things I'm forgetting, and I know it's just as important, but I'm overlooking them. But I would sit down and I would write out, why do I need to, or why do I want to grow the business? And you got to have good reason. Because it's going to be your mantra, right? You're going to spend a lot of hard hours, nights and weekends working on this with little to no sleep because you have to have a mantra to dance to march to. This is why I am increasing the business. And don't do it to outdo Joe Schmo because that never works, all right? And you can't fake it till you make it in this business because you'll end up filing bankruptcy. The biggest thing that I see when I tell people it's time for growth is when you have a lot of really good customers that are giving good reviews. And you have another shop in the area go out instead of being replaced. That adds opportunity for growth. Maybe they were a one-man band. And when something like that happens in my area, I go and I even talk with the owner about buying out their inventory. Unless, because I will bring it up to them as well, unless they can send it back. And a lot of times you take a 10-15% whack from the suppliers, but it's better than getting half on your dollar if you're getting out. But but by the time somebody's getting ready to get out in my area, I've known it for quite a while because we're friends, right? I partner with all the other shops. And with partnering with the other shops, if it's your time and you want to get out, those other shops are probably going to be the ones that will give you the best dollar on what you have, whether it's new old stock, newer inventory, equipment, tire changers, tables, air tables, hydraulic tables, the whole enchilada versus having an auction and hoping for the best. So what am I missing, you guys? What are good reasons for growth and what are bad reasons for growth? I'd like to know what you guys think. But getting back to reasons to have growth. See, now, a lot of times, if you're a one-man band and you're doing well, that means you're taking care of your customers. They feel like they're valued, right? And there's not a lot of pressure. And when I say there's not a lot of pressure, I don't mean you have everyday pressures. Everybody does. But you're not trying to do more than you can because you know your limitations. And see, that's the other thing that people don't realize when they start to grow is that it could very well alienate the customers that you have now. And how is that true? Well, that's true because if you're not willing to give the same amount of time and finesse with those customers to where they feel valued and they appreciate everything you do, are they going to continue to come to you versus somebody else? No. They're going to start looking at dollar and cents. Because if you're getting bigger, you're probably not giving them the right attention anymore. Or somebody's not giving them the right attention that they deserve as good customers that kept you going this long and have allowed you to grow. And a lot of times by asking your customers what they think as far as growth comes in handy. You'd be surprised what customers will tell you. And some will say, absolutely, Eric, you need to grow. I mean, you got a phenomenal business here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, But they're not looking at your financial end, right? So good reasons to grow is when you've got more customers than what you can handle. I would start with getting another mechanic on staff to help you with that, or someone that you can do as an apprentice, somebody young was even better, to show them the ropes how you want it done and have them do the basics and keep them involved in what you're doing so that you're bringing them up to a higher level of being a mechanic other than just being the oil changer guy, right? The service technician. That's one way. And then that way, with that growth, you're taking on the customers that you didn't have time for because they're there. Because that's the other reason not to grow is if the customer base isn't there. Because I feel like half the people, when it comes down through, this half goes for price only. How much is it going to cost me? Where this half over here is more interested in quality And they don't mind spending a few extra bucks because they know that when you put your stamp on it and you let it go, it's 100% ready. And that you will stand behind it. So on that note, I'm going to start wrapping this up. What do you guys think? What are good reasons to and what are not good reasons to have growth in your business? Going bigger is not always better. I can tell you that much right now. You know, it's a young man's sport still where less hours sleep, more hours working. But on that note, you guys have a great Thursday. Watch out for the trick-or-treaters tonight, the diehards. And we'll catch you here bright and early tomorrow morning for the Friday show. All right. Thanks so much for watching.